Welcome to Chapter 3. This chapter talks about buying behavior of business to business customers. And the quick crux of the chapter is that B2B clients are different in many ways. So let's jump right in and discuss some important aspects of B2B buyer behavior. Business buyers are usually very service and quality conscious because if something malfunctions, they lose real money. And this logic must be mastered by salespeople in order to communicate the value their products or services could be providing. So, what are business or B2B products in the first place? Well, the real difference is that of intended use. If a business or organization buys a product for conducting or sustaining its affairs, it becomes a business product. As you see here, this is a partial list of products that one of the leading universities in the US buys on a regular basis. And as you can tell, many of them are bought by end consumers as well. So the primary differentiation is the intended use. As we touched upon earlier too, business customers can be of different types, and hence their needs can also be quite different. The broad categorization of business customers is A. Producers, firms that manufacture final products for consumers and buy a variety of goods from suppliers. They really care about the quality, competitive price, timely delivery, etc. for their purchases. B. Resellers, firms that buy and then resell the goods to its clients, such as dealers, distributors, wholesalers. These guys care about profit margins. They're in the business of making money and the turnover of the products they buy for the purpose of selling. C, the third category, government and its agencies. They are very price conscious customers and often give business to the lowest bidder. Also, the purchasing processes are quite unique and complex in case of the government and its agencies. And lastly, other institutions such as hospitals, universities, churches, etc., which require a unique mix of pricing, quality, and financing of products. So how is B2B buying different from consumer buying? Actually, in many ways. Some of these were discussed in the textbook and some more are mentioned here. This is actually a pretty good slide that lays out some of the salient differences, and you must have realized these differences as you read the chapter. One difference that I would like to stress upon, which is rather unfamiliar, many people don't know, is the concept of reciprocity. Not many people are aware of this, by the way. Sorry, pardon me. Not many people don't know about it, but reciprocity as a concept is quite common in business to business models. What it means is that the companies often agree to buy the goods or services of another company only if there is a quid pro quo. That is, the seller company or the supplier is willing to buy the goods or services of the buying firm. For example, let's say a hotel such as Hilton could decide to buy Xerox photocopiers if the traveling workforce of Xerox Corporation agrees to stay in Hilton hotels. Yes, you guessed it right. It's like barter. Exactly. Another noteworthy feature is that business markets are often concentrated at a given location instead of being dispersed uh, across instead of being dispersed across geographies. This happens because such a concentration makes things efficient for everybody, for suppliers and buyers, for 3PL companies, etc. For example, you must have noticed auto industry is concentrated in Detroit, IT industry is concentrated in California, Silicon Valley, financial services industry is in New York. Another hub for auto industry has emerged in the states of Alabama and Georgia. The aim is usually to make things efficient for everybody across the supply chain. Then there is the issue of in supplier and out supplier. Depending on how important the purchase is for the customer, and hence how intense is the effort to research the product category, there could be less or more competition for the salesperson. As you read in the textbook, straight rebuys are difficult to break into for an out supplier, while a very good opportunity to sell exists for the out supplier in case of a new task buying situation, because the buying organization opens up and does a comprehensive research in finding out what the options are available out there. So here are the various typical steps involved in a B2B buying process. It's an 8-step process from need recognition to evaluating product performance. And the salesperson has to stay in control throughout the process and adapt as the customer needs change and evolve. Such adaptation is actually the secret to good selling practices and finally sales success. And this brings us to the very important topic of creeping commitment. The concept indicates that B2B sales is not really about getting an order in one go, one shot. That is not even possible since there are multiple stages in client decision making and multiple individuals are involved. So, the primary job of a salesperson is to guide the customer and help them narrow down alternatives one step at a time. Needless to say, it requires a lot of skill and lots of patience on behalf of the salesperson. Experience has shown that there are primarily 5 roles that the members of a buying center play. These individuals not only have different roles but also different needs. For example, an influencer could be a CEO's friend who happens to work in another company and may not even be accessible for the salesperson. The decider could be a finance chief, it could be the purchasing head, or even the CEO in some cases. It all depending on an organization's policies and the product category. Uh, it keeps changing. The salespeople must be skillful at managing the various members of the buying center. So here is a quick exercise in recognizing potential members of a buying center. If you were trying to sell a new type of fabric to say steel case, then final users could be someone like manager manufacturing. Uh, Initiators could be the manager for new products who is working on something new inside the company. Influencer could be the GM finance because he has had tremendous experience in past purchases in this category. The gatekeeper could be the purchase manager himself. And finally, the decider could be the managing director himself. The roles, of course, are tough to predict and vary with each client. And correctly figuring out the roles is one of the key jobs of a salesperson. And finally, to be able to manage the buying center members successfully, it is also important to look both into organizational and individual needs of the buyers. And this means that the salesperson has to have two complementary skill sets. That means he or she should be able to strike and manage relationships both at personal as well as organizational levels. So that's all for now. Next, we will discuss the role of communication in building relationships. Thank you. Bye.